Today we will be talking about nuclear magnetic resonance or NMR. We know that whenever any electric particle it is moving, it also generates some of the magnetic field. And we know that all the atoms, they have an electron, they have electrons which are moving around a proton or nucleus which has got positive charge due to the protons and neutrons which balance it. Because of the moving nucleus, the nuclear particles, they move around an axis and therefore they generate an electric field, and we can consider them as small magnets with a north pole and a south pole, or you can also represent them like this with this north and this south. Further in this discussion, we will be talking about these tiny magnets in this form. Now suppose if there are more than one charged particles in the nucleus, so they will be oriented in all the directions. Now, whenever we apply an external magnetic field, higher external magnetic field, here it is represented by B naught, then all of them, because this field being more than the smaller magnetic fields of these nuclear particles, they will be aligned along with the field. And after this step, when we give them a radio frequency of certain magnitude, what will happen is that initially they were aligned along with the field. This position is known as alpha position, and then they will be aligned against the field. So obviously for aligning against the field, lot of energy is required, and this energy is being provided by the radio frequency, and whenever this condition is reached, it is known as resonance condition. And from the amount of energy that is absorbed by the nuclear particles for flipping from the alpha position to the beta position, it is different for different nuclear particles, and it helps in identifying these particles and the electronic environment outside them. For example, in the case of proton, we know that it contains one proton and one electron. This is the simplest, you can say, the nuclear magnetic resonance, or it is also represented as HNMR or NMR for the protons. Now, we know that all the electrons, they have got certain spin states, and electrons in each orbitals, they will be like this. Similarly, these electrons which are in different spin states, the nuclear particles also depict certain spin states. They can be half, 1, 3/2, and all these particles which have these spin states, they are referred to as paramagnetic particles. Now we know once this resonance condition is achieved, then these are the spin states, plus half and minus half. If these are the two spin states for proton, then the difference between them is given by delta E. We already know that energy is given by an equation h nu, where nu is the frequency and h is the Planck's constant. And in the case of NMR, it is given by h nu upon 2 pi into B. This is the magnitude of the frequency in the case of these nuclear particles. For flipping these nuclear particles, here gamma is given as the gyromagnetic ratio, which is the ratio of the magnetic moment of the particular particle with the magnetic field, external magnetic field that is applied. Now if suppose in the case of proton, half is the spin state, then 2i plus 1 is the number of orientation, that is 2 into half plus 1 is equal to 2. So here we can see two orientation, one is along the field and the other will be against the field. One will be along the field and other will be against the field. Obviously against the field or the upfield will be higher, and along with the field or downfield will be lower. This energy difference is given by delta E, which is given by this value. Alright, so now what is the advantage of the NMR? NMR is used for knowing the structural composition of the compounds for which we do not know the structure, or we want to know there is cis-trans isomerism, or we want to know what are the kinds of substituents, electronegative substituents, electropositive substituents which are attached to it. So we will be taking one example, that is CH3, CH2, OH, or this is the ethanol. Now in this case, as you can see, there are three types of protons, CH3, H3, CH2, 2 protons, and OH, 1 protons. Here are 3, 4, 5 and 6 protons. However, there are 3 types of protons. Now because these H3, they are attached to a single carbon, these are known as equivalent protons. Again, CH2, these are also equivalent protons, and there is 1 proton of H. But when compared to CH3 and CH2, they are non-equivalent protons. So 3 types of protons. So now whenever we are taking an NMR spectra, what kind of a spectra it is? The spectra will give us a graph between the intensity of the peaks due to different types of protons with the frequency of the magnetic field, or the radio frequency which is there because of the electromagnetic radiations that are given in the radio frequency region in which the nuclear particles absorb. Now TMS, what is written here, this is a standard. TMS is tri-tetramethylsilane. You can see all the protons are equivalent. So it will be having the lowermost, you can say, tendency to absorb, and because of it, it absorbs at a very low frequency. Alright. Now the next is, this side is upfield closer to this, and downfield farther than this. Now you can see 3 types of protons, CH3, CH2, OH. Now how will we determine that which proton will absorb at downfield, which one at upfield? To know this, we have to learn about 2 things. One is shielding and other is de-shielding. Now the protons which are surrounded by very less electrons, or those electrons are taken away by certain, you can say, the electronegative particles. So the electron density around the protons or the nuclear particles, they will decrease. Alright. If it decreases because of any reason, then this is known to be de-shielded. Then this nucleus is known to be de-shielded. And if the electron density around the nucleus is higher, it is known to be shielded. This is because of generally the electron donating groups as CH3. Now we know that 2 alignments have to be there. One has to be alpha and the other has to be beta. Now if the nuclear particles or the protons, they are de-shielded protons, then once they are in this orientation and they have to flip by around 180 degree. They have to flip by around 180 degree. So lots of magnetic field is required. Therefore, if lots of magnetic field is required, they will be requiring more energy to take up the now they have to be flipped by 180 degrees. So if they have to be flipped by complete 180 degrees, obviously maximum field will be required. We know that the field that is, you can say, felt by the nuclear particles is B effective, which is B applied, that is the applied magnetic field minus the local magnetic field. Now from where does the local magnetic field come? Local magnetic field comes from these electrons which are outside. They will be absorbing some of the magnetic field, because of which the total magnetic field that is applied, it will not be experienced by the nuclear particles. So in the case of de-shielded electrons, so we see that electron density is very, very less, because of which first of all it will be totally aligned with the field and then it will be against the field. So high energy is required. High energy means higher frequency, so it will be absorbing downfield. Whereas in the case of shielded electrons, the orientation will not be totally against the field or totally along the field whenever we have switched on the magnetic field, because of the electrons which do not let the nuclear particle experience the complete field, because of which there is some local magnetic field, and when we subtract this local magnetic field, B effective will be lesser in the case of this shielded electrons. B effective is lesser, therefore lesser energy is required, therefore they will be absorbing upfield. they will be absorbing upfield. This here we are showing with the example of ethanol. In the case of ethanol, OH is, this hydrogen is attached to highly electronegative oxygen, because of which it is absorbing downfield. Then it has also got certain effect on these CH2, because of which next is CH2, and the third is CH3, which is far away from OH, because of which it is absorbing upfield. Upfield means at lower energy. So this side the energy is increasing because frequency is increasing, and you can also see the difference in the height of these peaks. More the number of equivalent protons, more will be the height. So here the ratio will be in the 3:2:1 approximately.